You needed to get away. That was the whole plan. No agenda, no itinerary. Just a small guest house in a town you had never heard of, and enough distance from your ordinary life to remember what it felt like before it became what it currently is. You found the listing on a Tuesday evening. The reviews said peaceful, said exactly what you need, said you will not want to leave. You booked it without thinking too hard. You arrived Friday evening as the light was going gold. The guest house owner showed you to your room and said she hoped you would find what you were looking for. You slept better than you had in months. Saturday morning, bag packed, bill paid, goodbye said. You pulled out of the guest house at 9:47 a.m. and followed the road you had driven in on 2 evenings before. Past the pub, past the small shop, past the church at the edge of town. And then the road curved and you followed it and drove for 15 minutes through countryside that makes you forget you were ever stressed about anything. And then the road curved again, and you were on the main street. Pub, shop, church. You checked the map on your phone. The route was clear. You had followed it correctly. You drove again. 20 minutes. The road curved. Main street, pub, shop, church. You went into the pub. A man was wiping down the bar. He looked up and smiled the way people smile when they know something you do not yet know and are comfortable waiting for you to find out. You said you seemed to be having some trouble getting out of town. He said, with the weight of someone for whom this sentence is not new. He poured you a coffee without asking. He said the road does that sometimes. You said, "What do you mean the road does that sometimes?" He said, "Some people find it easier to leave in the afternoon." He mentioned a road that went north first. He said it tended to work. You asked what he meant by tended to work. He smiled. He said, "Drink your coffee." You tried the northern road. 25 minutes of increasingly beautiful landscape. Then curved south. Main Street. You tried a road that headed east down a single-track lane between dry stone walls. 30 minutes. The lane curved. Main Street. You sat in the car. You thought about the reviews. Peaceful. Exactly what you need. You will not want to leave. You went back to the guest house. The owner was in the garden. She did not look surprised to see you. She said, "Did it not take today then?" You said, "Can you explain to me what is happening?" She sat down and looked at you the way your mother used to look at you when you had a question she had been waiting for you to ask for a very long time. She said, "Everyone who comes here finds their way eventually." You said, "Finds their way out." She said, "Finds their way. Some people it takes a morning. Some people it takes longer." You said, "Longer? How much longer?" She said, "It depends what they came for." You said, "I came for a weekend away." She looked at you. She said, "Did you?" You sat in the garden with her. She brought tea. You asked how long the road had been doing this. She said, as long as she could remember. As long as her mother could remember. Probably longer. You asked if people ever got stuck permanently. She said, "No. Everyone leaves eventually. The road always takes them when they are ready." You asked what ready meant. She said it was different for everyone. She said some people figured it out quickly and some people needed longer. You asked, needed longer to do what? She said, whatever they came here for, even if they did not know what that was when they arrived. You thought about Tuesday evening, about finding the listing, about booking it without thinking too hard, about needing to get away. You tried twice more in the afternoon. The northern road. A road on the paper map in your glove box that the phone map did not show. Both times, Main Street. By the time you parked for the 5th time, the pub man was outside putting out the evening board. He looked at you. He said, "Staying for dinner then?" You said, "Apparently." He held the door open. You stayed Saturday night. The guest house owner had your room ready when you asked. Of course she did. Sunday morning, you packed your bag again. You did not say goodbye this time. You drove to the edge of town. You took the original road. 15 minutes. The road curved. And then it did not bring you back. You drove for 45 minutes, and then you were on the motorway and the town was behind you. You drove home. You made tea. You opened your laptop. The guesthouse listing was still open in the browser. You looked at the reviews. The most recent review was posted this morning. Your name. 5 stars. Peaceful, it said. Exactly what you need. The kind of place that gives you back something you did not know you had lost. And then the last line. You will not want to leave. But when the road is ready, you will know why you came. You stare at it for a long time, and then you close the laptop, and you sit with your tea. And for the first time in longer than you can remember, you are not thinking about work. You are not thinking about the relationship that ended 3 weeks ago. You are thinking about the guesthouse owner, about what she said, about the road taking you when you are ready. You are thinking about the fact that you drove out this morning without saying goodbye, and the road let you go.